Welcome back, humor consumers, to the Life Happens, Laugh Anyway podcast. I'm comedian Tracy DeGraaf.
And I'm Catherine, co-host, bestie.
Hi, Catherine.
Hi.
Did you miss me?
What if I said no?
Well, okay. I would say you probably lie about other things.
Mm-hmm.
We just returned from a 10-day vacation that we took together.
Yes.
With Puffin. Muffin and Pooh, our husbands, also the sponsors of this podcast. Thank you, guys, for doing that.
Yeah, we just got back, day before yesterday.
That's right.
And it's good to be home. It was nice. It was a real nice trip and vacation.
It was.
Yeah.
We went a lot of miles. We went from Illinois to Florida, and then we went further down south into Florida.
Driving.
Mm-hmm. We drove in my little car. Catherine and I in the back seat, the guys in the front seat.
The whole time. They wouldn't let us drive.
They wouldn't. And Catherine had a little Disney Mickey finger that was like a magic wand.
On a stick.
She kept wanting to whack him with it.
Mm-hmm.
But we did it, and we laughed a lot.
Yeah, it was funny.
Yeah.
I was like, don't let me get my finger out. Mickey finger,
and
that is.
I had my earphones.
Oh, yeah.
When I needed them when they were munching on snacks.
And gum.
And Catherine didn't have any. That you're going to have to bring.
And you looked over at me and you're like, sorry.
I'm like, oops.
Sure.
You got to put that on your packing list.
I normally always have them with me.
Girl.
But I had switched purses.
Oh.
And that was the only thing I hadn't switched over.
But you did it.
Yeah.
This vacation was a lot of fun. It was partly just vacation getaway, go to the beach. We went to the Emerald Coast. Absolutely beautiful there.
Yeah, stunning.
Fort Walton Beach near Destin, Florida, on the Gulf side. And
Panhandle.
Yeah, the Panhandle. Beautiful. The beaches are like sand, like sugar.
Like sugar, right?
Wait, they are sand. They literally are sand.
Yeah,
but the sand is like sugar.
Exactly.
It's so clean and fresh
white.
And yeah, it's beautiful.
It really is.
Yeah.
And the contrast of the emerald green water is just amazing, and the blue sky.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And the water is green, but it's clear, which is why they call it emerald.
Yeah,
because it's something to do with the reflection of the algae, but it's not green like in
plankton.
Illinois. In Illinois, you think green water, and I think the Illinois River.
Well, yeah, and you kind of think dark pea soup green.
Right.
It's not like that at all. It's Caribbean green. Yeah.
And so anyway, that's our little update of what we've been doing.
Yes.
And now it's back to winter for another.
Yeah, we got back and it snowed. As soon as we got into central Illinois, I think.
Yeah, started snowing.
Yeah, it snowed all night, and we woke up in the morning, and the whole earth was covered. Well, this Peatone anyway.
Yeah, covered with snow, but it will soon melt because tonight we are turning our clocks.
Yes.
Wait, we spring ahead.
Fall back.
Right.
In the fall.
Right. Mm-hmm. So this podcast is dropping on March 23rd. By then, we'll all be accustomed to the spring ahead thing, but today is March, 12th?
Yes.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's jump into our topic. Friends, today we are talking about kitchen hacks.
Really fun subject.
Yeah.
Because we've done some, I think, challenging ones.
Yeah.
Difficult, but this one's fun. This one's helpful. Well, they're all helpful, right?
I think so.
Yeah.
The takeaways from today's podcast, we've got 3 takeaways. We try to have 3 takeaways every time. We're going to help you to save money, save time, and save food.
Yes.
All 3 things should be a win. Win, win, win. And then we're also going to put in the show notes links to some really entertaining and helpful clips that we've found, as well as how-tos. I've got 2 how-tos. How to cook bacon, very simply. And also how to preserve, on the video they call it coriander, but it's also cilantro. So I'm not sure.
Oh, yeah.
Is that plant that's known as both?
I think it's something to do with once it's ground down into like a seed-like form.
Okay.
I think.
Well, I happen to love cilantro.
Me too.
I've heard that some people either love it or hate it. Like it tastes like soap.
And I feel like men more often than women don't like cilantro unless it's really mixed in with a salsa or something like that. But
well, I love it. I love it on avocado toast. I love it in salsa.
Yeah.
And so I want to share this hack of how to preserve it so that it doesn't go bad in your refrigerator.
Yes.
All right. Well, let's start out with what you have over there, and then we'll go to what I have over here.
All right. Well, I have a few.
Mm-hmm.
One of them, okay, so sometimes I get soup that's way too salty. I have either made it myself too salty accidentally, or I get it too salty. So a good way to counteract that is to add fresh raw apple slices or potato slices when you're heating it up. And then you just simmer it for about 10 minutes and then discard them, and it brings it back to normal.
Speaking of soup, we had the most amazing soup that my mother-in-law prepared for us because we went to visit her and my father-in-law in the Villages. Shout out to Ron and Claudia DeGraaf.
Hi, Claudia.
In the Villages. And she made this soup that our Aunt Pam put in the family cookbook. I've had this recipe for like 20 years and I've never made it. And it's so easy.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll link that also. I'm going to put that on the notes to link. It's a clam chowder soup that you do in the crock pot.
Yeah.
And it's so good.
And it's very good. And Claudia added her own little special ingredients.
Yeah, she added like blackened shrimp to it, which really gave it a kick.
And corn.
Yeah, and some garlic, I think, also.
Yeah. I feel like something else, too.
Yeah, well, we'll look at the recipe that she gave us. But anyway, if you're looking for a delicious soup that you can just put in your crock pot and you make it in 4 hours, it's great. And you cook it with the lid off.
Yes.
We were amazed by that.
Yes, I was very amazed by that.
Yeah.
That was neat.
Yeah, because
That's a hack.
Yeah, you don't want it to get all drippy.
I think
soggy.
that's what we thought was
soupy. It is soup.
Yeah.
Anyway, okay.
All right.
Next one.
Okay, so with the herbs, so in particular, cilantro and parsley, we buy it fresh, like we were just talking about, and nothing's worse than when it just wilts. So a good way to keep them fresh is trim the stems and place them in a small glass of water. Then place a plastic bag over the top and secure it by tying the plastic in a knot or wrapping it with, a rubber band or string or something, and then store it in the fridge. And you can keep that for up to 2 weeks that way. You can also leave it on the counter, but that's a good way to preserve it, keep it fresh.
So
that's similar to what you found?
No, mine is different. So it'll be good to compare and contrast. And maybe, you could even try both methods and see what works better for you. The method that I'll share in the show notes is a YouTube video of a gentleman who loves cilantro, and he showed 2 different ways. He did his own experiment.
Okay.
And one way used aluminum foil, and the other way used just like a Ziploc bag.
Oh.
And in the end, he found that the Ziploc bag was way more effective. So you basically just cut the stems off, you wash the cilantro, you dry it as good as you can with paper towel, and basically store it in the Ziploc bag, like in a fresh paper towel. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like you'll dry it and then throw that one away and then get a fresh paper towel and fold it. So you put a little bit of cilantro in and then fold the paper towel and then a little bit more and then fold it.
Oh.
And he shows this whole method. He puts it into the Ziploc bag, puts it in the refrigerator, and then 2 weeks later shows you what it looks like. So I would say that it's worth experimenting, especially these days when we all have to save money because we're paying more for every single thing.
That's right.
You don't want to have to waste.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Speaking of paper towels, that reminds me, a kitchen hack I learned a long time ago. One way to make your lettuce stay fresh longer, is to put paper towels in if you have a bag of cut up salad and you put it into a bowl, you could put the paper towels on the bottom and the top of the bowl. Or if you just have the head of lettuce or the whole thing of the romaine lettuce, you just wrap it with the paper towel. And that preserves it.
Yeah.
Oops.
I've had problems in the past, not as much with this particular refrigerator that we have now for some reason, but Every once in a while, I would have like cucumbers that would freeze.
Oh, yeah.
It's so discouraging.
Mm-hmm.
You go to get that cucumber and you're all ready for it. And you can't salvage a frozen cucumber.
Ooh.
And one thing that I've done that has worked fairly well is I just take a kitchen towel and wrap the whole cucumber up in the towel and like kind of put a coat on it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh.
And then I put the whole kitchen towel and everything in the drawer.
Okay.
So that the frost doesn't get to it or whatever. I don't know.
And do you ever run into the out of sight, out of mind thing? Like, what is in that towel? Do you forget?
Yes. But not too much with a cucumber, but I've had that problem with other things.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
That's why I said it.
Mm-hmm. Okay, what else?
Okay. If you have tomato sauce that's too acidic, a good way to counter that is to add carrots, and that will also give it like a subtle sweetness to your sauce.
Oh, that sounds good.
Mm-hmm.
I've heard of people using carrots in sauce to get the vitamins out of the carrots and into the sauce.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, that's another benefit to it. Yeah. I forgot to say, too, that you should simmer it in there. And if you don't want it, in your sauce, then just take it out when you're done.
Yeah.
But that'll take away the acid.
Okay.
This one I thought was really neat, and this is not something to do with food necessarily, but when you need more space, if you're baking and you need more prep area, get out your ironing board.
That's a great idea.
Yeah, so...
Finally, something to do with my ironing board. Right? I haven't used it in 20 years.
Now, yeah, I thought, and you can also use it as a cooling rack if you take off the cloth. And then typically the top of an ironing board has, like not mesh.
That's genius.
But of course you have to sweep the floor afterward. But
when that would come in real handy is if you're baking Christmas cookies.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Oh,
yeah.
You have to use that
Isn't
one.
that neat? Just a quick island.
Yeah.
Or cooling rack for
Love
extra
it.
space. Yeah, I loved that one. And this one I thought was neat too, worth mentioning. Mm-hmm. If you have a head of lettuce and you need to chop it up, like for chopped salad, take a drinking glass, and take the edge of it and just kind of chop away at the lettuce, and it just comes perfectly shredded lettuce.
Really?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
A drinking glass.
And you just kind of go on the side of the head of lettuce, and it just starts to come apart and works real well.
Have you tried it personally, or you just saw it?
I just saw it. Because
Catherine didn't do her research.
But here's the thing. I was thinking, well, doing that with a knife is just as easy, but it's a hack, meaning like maybe you're somewhere where you don't have a knife.
Okay.
Or you,
right.
Right. So I just thought it was neat because it looked good.
Okay.
Yeah. And I do have a couple tips.
Okay.
This is something maybe the listeners have known this all along. I didn't know this till recently. You cannot store your onions and your potatoes together.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. So apparently an onion produces and emits
gas. A gas?
Yes, ethylene gas, which
Ooh.
sounds really bad.
Or good, depending.
Yeah, right.
Okay.
And that speeds up the ripening process on the potatoes, and then they can rot faster and decay.
Oh, wow. Good tip.
Yeah. But you can store your garlic next to your onions. That's not going to be a problem.
Okay. And I've also heard that you're not supposed to store onions or potatoes in the refrigerator. However, I do that. I do put my onions and my potatoes in the refrigerator because you mentioned earlier, out of sight, out of mind. One time when I was living with my very first apartment roommates before I got married, Patty and Martha, we rented, the three of us rented a little apartment in Joliet, and there was this smell in the apartment.
Oh, no.
Oh, it was horrible.
Oh,
we
bad
were
potato.
Oh, not just a bad potato, a bad bag of potatoes.
Oh, yeah.
And I had put it in this drawer thinking I'm gonna make potatoes. And pretty soon we're looking everywhere for this smell, and we're convinced there's a dead body in this apartment. Someone was killed.
Oh, yeah. They smell so bad.
Yeah, so don't do that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I saw that you store your potatoes in the refrigerator.
Yeah.
I saw that a while ago, so I started doing it.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Whoops.
Well, now you're not supposed to do that, I guess, because they need to be in a cool, dark place, like a cardboard box.
Well,
and
my
punch out.
refrigerator is cool and dark.
Dry.
Oh,
Dry.
dry.
I forgot to say dry as
Yeah.
well. So anyway, when you were at the apartment and they were out of sight, where were they?
In a drawer.
Oh, in a drawer.
This
Did you
was
say
an
that?
old building. It was in the cathedral area.
Just shit my microphone.
What'd you do?
I just spit because I laughed.
Oh, jeez.
Because I'm picturing
Oh,
you
it's horrible.
sticking them in the drawer, and you
Yes.
guys all like, "Who died?" And all of a sudden, it's hitting me. It's very funny.
It was hilarious. And the really funny part about it was, you know me, Catherine.
I do. That's why I'm laughing.
I'm not a cook. I never was a cook. Why did I even buy a bag of potatoes? What am I going to do with it?
Because you're a contributor and you wanted to contribute.
Well, whatever. But, they didn't call me Spacey Tracy for nothing.
So funny.
I forgot almost instantaneous.
Uh-huh.
Like, oh.
Gosh. I'm going to have to clean this microphone.
Well, you're the only one that uses it, so.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay, that was fun.
Yeah, that was
All right.
real fun.
What else?
That's it, really.
That's all you got?
Yeah, I thought I'd leave some for you.
Oh, yay. Okay. Okay. I have 9 little hacks
Okay.
to share. And this didn't come from any particular website or link.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, these are.
Is it legit?
Yes, it's legit.
Okay.
Combined, Catherine, the two of us have been in the kitchen for more than 60 years.
This is true.
So I've learned something in
Yes.
that period of time.
Yes. Like, don't hide your potatoes.
Right. I've learned what not to do.
That's right. You have.
I've had fires in my oven. I've learned what not to do there.
That's right.
Yeah. Never fill it to the top. Especially when butter is the main ingredient. And it's Thanksgiving and it overflows. And pretty soon you've got smoke and fire on your Thanksgiving turkey.
Yeah, not good.
Especially after all day and all night of chopping the onions, chopping the celery, getting it ready.
Maybe a good hack would be to have a fire extinguisher in your kitchen that's constantly updated.
That would be a good hack. However, we had a fire extinguisher in our kitchen when we had the fire, but I refused to let anyone put the fire out because I said it would ruin the turkey.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, because I made a commitment to that turkey.
Oh man.
I reached in with the hot pads on my hands to save the turkey.
Oh.
And then the fire just kind of dwindled because
Yeah.
the butter situation was resolved.
Did anyone want that turkey
Well,
after that?
I don't remember. I didn't care. I was like, you're eating it.
I saved it. You're eating it.
Risked my life for you people. Mm-hmm. All right.
So what you got?
Oh, wait. Before we go to this list of 9 things, I want to ask you.
Uh-oh.
Okay. It's a little quiz. How many minutes per day do you think the average person spends in the kitchen?
Oh, good
doing
question.
prep?
Doing prep only?
Well, prep and
Prep?
clean up and eating, whatever. How many minutes a day?
I would say an hour and a half.
Well, you're pretty close.
Okay.
Okay, back in 1965, when I was born, it was 2 hours a day that women would spend preparing, feeding the family, and cleaning up.
Wow, I would have thought longer back then.
Well, yeah, but that's according to who knows who. I mean, some study. Now it's less than that. It's 51 minutes a day for women. And then they also had men at 22 minutes. Yeah. And they said most of their time is spent eating, not doing those stuff.
Yeah.
And then if you're 18 and older, so like that, average, like pre-adult person, 37 minutes per day.
Wow.
Yeah. And it equates to about 18 years in the kitchen. So gals,
Gosh.
Catherine's eyes just crossed. 18 years. So we got to learn how to enjoy it, right?
Yeah.
All right. So let me share with you these 9 hacks that'll hopefully save you some time, some food, and some money. Here's my first hack.
Okay.
Start with a clean kitchen.
Okay. That's a hack?
It is.
How is that a
because
hack?
This is how it's a hack. Because oftentimes if your kitchen is not clean and you're going in there to try to make a meal, it's confusing. It takes more time. There's not enough room. Start with a clean kitchen.
Okay.
Just get the dishes out of the way, get the countertops cleaned off, and just start before you even start making your meal. Start with clean kitchen.
Okay.
Okay, second one, Read the whole recipe.
Oh,
before
that would be
you start.
helpful. Yeah, these are good tips, I'd say.
Well, it's the same thing as a hack.
Oh.
Tip, hack. Basically what it means, we're trying to save people time, money, and food. Reading the whole recipe before you start throwing stuff together, that can really save you time, money, and food.
Yes.
Because if you ruin it, what did you ruin? We talked about it on another podcast. You ruined something.
Oh, I put in, I thought when it said put in a clove of garlic,
Yeah.
that the bulb was the clove.
So she put in a whole bulb of garlic.
In lasagna or something, like that. I think it was lasagna.
Yeah. And the point is, you had to peel every one of those cloves.
Yes.
Weren't you thinking, oh my gosh, this is intense?
Yes, and I didn't have any of those funky tools that you can get, we were
peeled it all by
just married. Yes. By the way, I saw a real cool hack for that too, for peeling garlic quickly.
What is it?
Just put it into water and then the peel, or rather the layers, just come off pretty easily.
Yeah.
And then put them into a Ziploc bag, take a meat tenderizer thing and smash it up and yeah.
I've got a garlic thing coming up in just a minute. Another idea for that too. Okay, my third out of the 9 little tips hacks is to mise en place. It's French.
Mise en place.
I think it's pronounced mez en place.
Mise en
Place or something like that. So forgive me if I am totally butchering the way to say it in French. But basically the meaning behind that mise en place is to get all of your ingredients measured out and in place before you start to follow the recipe.
Okay.
And so you would have like small dishes, like a small bowl to hold your garlic.
Yeah.
Or your baking soda or your,
your ingredients.
Right. And then line it up in order of appearance in the big show.
Yeah.
Read your whole recipe and then begin.
I actually do that.
Do you?
Yeah. I like to have it all ready.
I love doing that because I like to, well, as you know, I can get distracted.
We all can.
We can, but I can even more so. And I like to kind of multitask when I'm cooking. I like to listen to things, like to learn certain things. I don't know why. But so if I'm all organized and I know what I'm doing, then I can listen while I'm also cooking.
Yes.
And then it doesn't make those 18 years seem like a prison sentence. I am sentencing you to 18 years in the kitchen. All right. Number 4, you know that I do this one and you do it as well. And that is to use a 1/2 cup measure.
Yes.
For your coffee.
Yeah.
Instead of doing the little scoop.
Measurement, right.
So the little coffee measurement thing is, I think, a tablespoon or something. And one day, many years ago, I realized that 3 of those coffee scoops equals a 1/2 cup.
Yeah.
And I thought, why am I doing this 1, 2, 3? I never change it. I never make half a pot,
Yeah. And that is for a full 12 cup pot of coffee.
There really should be no other type of coffee except a full pot. And I don't know. That's a really great tip, because if you make coffee every single morning or whatever, or more than once a day or whatever, just measure out whatever your measurement is and get yourself a little thing that scoops that much.
Yeah, Kenny and we had to get extra measuring cups because I left ours permanently in our
do
coffee
the same thing.
jar. Yeah.
I do the same thing. And you can pick up those at, any kind of a retailer, or you could even get them at Goodwill. They have a lot of that kind of stuff there. And that way you're saving yourself time.
Yes.
Doesn't necessarily save money, but it saves time. All right, number 5, the fruit and veggie containers from Tupperware.
Yes. Okay.
I recently got these. I purchased them from some Tupperware person here in town. And I was kind of skeptical at first because I thought they're kind of pricey to house fruits and vegetables. Yeah. Because they have this little system on there of venting.
Yes.
And according to whatever you're putting inside, that's how you push the vent. And it has a picture, thank God.
Yeah.
On the front. And I've been working on my health journey, working on getting more fruits and vegetables, fresh fruits and vegetables into me every day. Well, when I buy them, if they go bad in the refrigerator, then that's bad.
Yeah.
This container system really works, and it does, it prolongs the death of your produce. Let's put it that way.
Okay. I have the same ones that you have. And I swear that when you put grapes in there, they come out crispy or crunchier.
Yes, I agree.
Than when I put them in.
That's crazy.
Oh my goodness, I love them. It's a special. It's not just a regular Tupperware bowl. It's specific,
it's
like
for
you said,
fruits and vegetables.
Right, the one with the vent thing.
Yeah.
So as long as you follow those directions, gosh, they do last a lot longer.
Yeah, and you can go ahead. Like I went to the grocery store today, and when I come home, I rinsed off all my berries, and I put them in the berry dish, and I vented it for berries or whatever it said to do. Put it in the fridge, and those berries will last. And it's a good thing because one little box of berries is like $5 or $6 now.
Yeah.
So now I got to decide, can I buy gas or can I buy berries?
Right.
Whoa.
I have another tip to add to that. I had one of those Tupperware containers years ago with the venting thing, and it had ridges on the bottom. But my family kept taking it and using it to reheat food in it. So they scorched them. So I can't stand scorched Tupperware and things like that. So I threw them out. So here's my tip. Put something on there if you have others in your household that may use it to heat food up, and just put like a big warning sign, like I'll cut your finger off if
you'll get the Mickey stick. Whack.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Well, that's just really good information for those of us who are working on getting more fresh produce into your diet. This is a great way to do it because you want to have that produce readily available for you, but you don't want it to go bad. So use those systems. All right. Number 6 out of 9. This is the one about the garlic. Use pre-peeled fresh garlic or the Pampered Chef garlic press because you do not have to peel that. So there's a tool from Pampered Chef. I've had mine for probably 20 years. And you just put the unpeeled garlic into the press and you smash it. It's kind of hard to do. It takes a lot of and you smash it. With your baby doll hands, you won't be able to do it. And the guts of the garlic clove come out of the little holes, but it leaves behind then the peel. You don't have to peel it. The peel part stays inside. Or just using the pre-peeled fresh garlic. I did watch this, that certain chefs say that's a really legit way to go ahead and still have garlic, in your dishes. These people were kind of garlic snobs, and they said not to get the ones in the jar, but I always have that. I have it just in case if I'm super in a hurry.
Yeah.
It's probably not as good, but it's doable.
There is a difference for sure.
Yeah.
There definitely.
Yeah.
Here's a hack too. Have toothpicks. If you have one of those press things that Tracy was just talking about, have toothpicks so that you could poke through the little holes because the garlic gets sticky and stuck in those things.
Yeah.
And really good garlic is in there. So it drives me crazy. I just poke through.
Yeah. I just use a knife and scrape it, and whatever doesn't come out just goes away.
Yeah, I know.
Right?
I've seen you.
I know. I just don't care.
I'm just going to say another thing with the garlic. If you are peeling it, earlier I mentioned that if you put it in water, I forgot to say a little Coke cap, like to the glass bottles. If you take the edge of that and just run it alongside the garlic clove, that is a really good way to peel that stuff off too. And also to kind of slice it.
That sounds like a lot of work. First, I got to find a Coke cap.
Well, yeah. Okay. That's if you don't have the tools.
Oh,
that's why it's a hack.
Okay. There we go. All right. Number 7, bake your bacon. Bake it in the oven.
Yeah.
Why do you think they call it bacon? Because you can bake it. Yeah. I'm going to share a link in the show notes of exactly how to do it. And I do it this way because it's easier.
I used to do it that way, and I got away from it for some reason.
Well, Ron doesn't do it that way when he makes bacon.
Yeah.
He likes to manage it in a pan.
Yeah, I've seen him.
But I prefer to just lay it out on the tray to go in the oven and then set the timer and like, ta-da, done. I don't like to stand there and flip it around.
Right. Because it's a sentence, right?
Yes,
time.
I've got other things to do.
Only you don't have a warden in that sentence, in that jail, kitchen jail.
Yeah. Well, we're trying to free you, ladies and gentlemen, whoever's listening. And in this bacon link, this link to the baked bacon that I'm going to share, they show 2 different methods depending on what type of tools you have, because you need a tray, like a cookie sheet that has sides.
Yeah.
And then they have you line it with foil, and then you put a little grate or like some kind of a thing so that the bacon can sit on top of it.
Oh, okay.
And the grease goes into the tray. But if you don't have those little grates or whatever they're called, you can just take your foil and crumple it up so that it creates like little mountains, and that becomes your tray.
Oh, yeah. That's a great
Interesting.
hack.
Yeah. Okay, number 8. Wrap sensitive veggies like romaine in a kitchen towel to keep them from freezing.
Yeah.
And we talked about that with the cucumber. But I just look at it like putting a winter coat on my sensitive veggies. Like, oh, honey, you cold.
Yeah.
And you can use a kitchen towel. You could probably actually use a regular terry cloth towel from like the bathroom too, like a small towel, whatever.
Yeah.
Okay.
Washcloth.
Yes, anything to wrap it so that it's insulated. That's my theory, is you're trying to insulate it from the cold. It can't handle it. Yeah. It's like a Midwesterner who moves to Florida.
Yeah.
You grew up in the Midwest, and you get down in Florida, and if it's under 70, they're like, oh, we're so sorry. It's so cold down here. I'm like, oh my God.
Funny.
All right. Last one, the cilantro.
Yeah.
Store cilantro in the fridge, wrapped in paper towel and the Ziploc bag. So I kind of mentioned that earlier on. I'll have the link to the video of the gentleman who really liked cilantro. And you basically, it's a process where you just snip off the stems.
Yep.
You've cleaned the cilantro, you've dried it to the best of your ability, and then you wrap it in the paper towel, store it in a Ziploc bag, and it lasts for a couple weeks.
Yeah. I think that way and the other way sounds real easy as well. Just put it in a little jar or a little glass and put the bag over it. Done.
Yeah. I've been guilty of I've not been a very good planner when it comes to meal prep. I haven't. And we did an episode, and that's our call to action.
That's right.
For ourselves as well as for our listeners, is to go back to episode number 10. It's called Meal Planning Doesn't Have to Suck. And it's a good episode. I'm going to re-listen to it.
Yeah.
Because I have not been a very good planner. And so what I was going to say about the cilantro is I can't tell you how many times I've purchased cilantro, put it in the fridge, and then it just sits there.
Yeah.
And it's all in the package, and it's all the sides are touching, and I don't know what happens, but the leaves turn black.
Yes.
And then it gets a little slime on it. Sorry. You can't remove that stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
I wonder if there is a hack for like zucchini and squash. I'll buy it and put it in the crisper with the low humidity or whatever you're supposed to do. And just, I swear, it's like 2 days later and they're wrinkly and soft. And
well, that's another thing with this Tupperware system with the vegetable and fruit system that they sell.
Yeah.
You can buy big things like that. Like I use mine I chop up all my lettuce stuff, you know, and all the vegetables that I want in my salad. And then I just pick from that for a week. And then I replace it. But you can take your zucchini and squash and put it in there and keep the lid on. And it's supposed to help.
Well, yeah, maybe I might have to do that. It's kind of irritating, though, because the refrigerator that we bought that's supposed to, those pull-out drawers, they're supposed to do the trick. Yeah.
Well, maybe Tupperware should make a fridge.
Oh, yeah.
That'd be good.
Hey, I have one more hack.
What else?
Never cut your onion and store it or save it. It soaks up bacteria and germs. I do it all the time.
Yeah.
But when we were preparing for this episode, I did find that. And then I recalled, oh, yeah, I've heard that before.
I have too.
Yeah.
But it's so tempting because if you have a big old onion and you're only using half of it,
yeah,
maybe try to do this. This might be a great way to solve that.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead and chop it up and throw it in the freezer. Onion, like chop the whole onion, use what you need for whatever you're doing. Like let's say you're serving Chicago style hot dogs and you want to have fresh onions on them, but you have this whole other half of an onion that's still left over. Don't put it in the refrigerator, chop it up, throw it in the freezer, and then the next time you make chili, you can just throw it into the chili.
Yeah.
Because the bacteria is not going to grow in the freezer.
No. I wonder if this said to throw it out. I don't know why it didn't say to save it. I know some foods, like they'll get more moisture somehow in.
Well, that's why I suggest using it for chili then. Or if you want to cook it right away, you could brown it or cook it with some ground beef to get the flavor out of it and get it into the beef, and then you could throw that in the freezer.
Yeah.
And we need to be mindful of these things so that we can be as frugal as possible.
That's exactly right.
All right. Anything else over there, Catherine?
No, that's it.
All right.
It was fun.
Well, it was fun.
Hey, I know that you had mentioned that you were going to share when we first started talking about this, how to cut a pepper. Like, what's the best way to cut a pepper?
Yes. Okay, I forgot about that. Well, I don't know if it's the best way. It's the way I do it.
Okay.
So a bell pepper, whether it's green, red, yellow, orange, whatever. Holding it straight up. Okay. Of course, clean it first. And then hold it straight up. Instead of cutting the top off first, just cut along where I don't know what to call them, like the tendons are or where.
Or the creases are?
Yeah. So basically you're shearing off that ligaments or whatever they are, like the fleshy stuff that you don't want to eat.
Okay.
So you can shear it in like 4 chops.
Okay.
Unless you get one that's,
Yeah, you get the deformed ones.
Right. And that way you're basically using the whole pepper, but it's so quick.
Yeah.
You don't have to cut it and then remove those fleshy whatever they are.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, see, I come up with some once in a while. All right, what's our scripture?
Our scripture is 1 Corinthians 10:31.
Okay, hold on. I should have got this before we started, but I forgot. Actually, I had it on my phone, but I didn't have it on the computer. All right. We close all of our podcasts with some spiritual encouragement because that's what life is all about. And if we're going to spend 18 years in the kitchen, we gotta have a reason.
Yeah.
All right.
Right.
So this scripture we thought was appropriate. It's 1 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 31. It says, "So whether you eat or drink or whatever you do it all for the glory of God."
Amen. Awesome.
Yeah. And, I've been there, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, if you're doing food prep, I've been there where it's just a drudgery, and having a big family like we do and did. Now we're empty nesters, and I can't stop smiling about the fact that we only have 2 people to cook for now.
Yeah.
But we cooked for 7 people.
Yeah.
Every single day.
Yeah.
We had to figure something out.
Right.
It can get to be a lot.
Yeah, and if you're working and you're coming home from work and then you've got to quick throw something on, just try to remember that scripture.
Yeah.
Keep in mind.
Yeah,
all
do it with a happy heart. All right, well, this has been great fun. You've been listening to the Life Happens, Laugh Anyway podcast. I'm still comedian Tracy DeGraaf.
I'm still Catherine.
Bye-bye.